everybody, and welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining me. You're in the very beginning stages of it, so thank you for subscribing and supporting my work. I've wanted to do a channel for a really long time. It's been something I've wanted to do for years, but I just didn't know what to share. So for a really long time, I wanted to do a family channel. And then like my family disintegrated over and over and over again. And so I ended up just deciding to do a channel that deals with me and to speak out on my experiences that I've been through in my life as a person who has had many spiritual and mystical experiences happen to me. And so the focus of my channel is going to be addressing certain things here in life on this earth through the concepts of spirituality or metaphysics. So I guess it was about 1998, I read a book called Conversations with God, an Uncommon Dialogue. And in this book, by Neil Donald Walsh, who I actually ended up doing a workshop with and met, and love all of his work, it explains a lot to me. It explained a lot to me at that time, and it really spoke to me on the law of attraction and how the law of attraction works. And so through my life, I have known this to be a concept that is pretty infallible. And I think that at times we can fall back on, you know, religious teachings, but all of the religious teachings that you'll see will kind of point back to quantum physics and quantum theory, which is basically what the law of attraction is. And so that's kind of where I'm going to hit every single time when I speak, is on quantum physics and quantum theory. So today I wanted to discuss something that is kind of coming to the forefront of my life at the moment, which is dark feminine energies. And what are the dark feminine energies, and how does a person who sees themselves as a very feminine person balance those dark feminine energies with light and also with masculine energy? Because a lot of what we need to do in order to find or secure stable and successful relationships in our life is to balance the masculine and the feminine energies that are within us. So for much of my life, I have understood myself to be very girly, very, I do have some masculine tendencies, or what I would have thought were masculine tendencies. But as I look into it, what I really really see is that as somebody who is gearing up to live a life as a divine feminine, I'm seeing that there are some traits of dark feminine energy that are being mirrored back to me in specific relationships that I don't like. And so how do we move on, change, grow from having dark feminine energies to changing those things within us? And so essentially the first part of it is that you'll want to really just take a look at your actions within a relationship. Dark feminine energy is neediness, clinginess, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection to the point of obsession or possession. There's also the the misuse of sexual energy, or sexual energy being misused for purposes of control. Another dark feminine energy is victimhood, or developing victim complex. Another dark feminine energy is, well, that all rolls into helplessness and powerlessness, which is another dark feminine energy, but it all kind of encompasses under victimhood or victim status. Then you have another dark feminine energy, which is faking orgasm. So that is probably one of the worst things that we as feminine can do for masculine, is fake our orgasms, because when we do that, that is giving false information, not only to the person, but to a collective masculine consciousness that ends up making them severely, if not for the duration of their lives, inept in being able to please a woman. So let me roll back to the sexuality part of dark feminine energy. So having sorry, it's so wiggly. Having or operating from specifically dark feminine energy, which is manipulation, there's a lot of what dark feminine energy is a manipulative sexual energy that taps in or tries to find weakness in the male or masculine through misuse of our sexual energy, which is not a good thing. And so how do we lighten our energy? The first thing that we need to do in order to lighten our feminine energy and to clean it or clarify it, or clean or clarify the feminine body, is to address sexual misappropriation, misuse, and sexual fragmentation. So when women's liberation started, and the feminism kind of began, and sexuality for females had tried to come ahead and make some advances, that was a good thing. You know, it was a good thing. It didn't have it. So where I'm coming from on sexual fragmentation has nothing to do with religion, but it has everything to do with our souls. Because when we exchange energy with another person of any kind, sexual energy of any kind with another human being, it is going to leave that masculine energy, whomever you choose, is going to imprint you. And it's not just going to imprint you body, because this is all one. Your body, your mind, and your spirit all connected to each other, and you have energetics that run outside of you. And so when we do things like enter into friends with benefits situations where there isn't any defined role for either party, there's no talk of exclusivity, and you feel like, as a feminine, that you're using someone. That's part of dark feminine energy. That is exactly what dark feminine energy is. It is misappropriation of your sexual energy. We know sexual energy to be one of the most powerful things that we as women have in this world, and we need to start finding other things to and balancing, not that it's bad to tap into your sexual energy. In fact, it's one of the best things you can do, especially someone that's suffered through trauma or abuse. Finding your sexual energy is a completely separate issue here. But when I talk about sexual misappropriation of feminine energy, I'm speaking from a point of education, not wounding, and not throwing my issues on anybody else, but education as to the energetics of sexual union. So in the energetics of sexual union, we are sharing sexual space with another person. While we think that this is not a big deal, or we blow it off, or we kind of just, move on or whatever, and take the masculine approach of, another notch in the belt. What ends up happening for both parties, not just masculine and not just feminine, but for both parties who have entered into the exchange of whatever exchange it is, there is soul fragmentation that occurs. So you're essentially leaving your imprint on that person, and they're leaving their imprint on you. So what you really want to be careful of is throwing out too many dark feminine energies out into the world, because when you throw out your victim card or your damsel in distress card, which is dark, or your vixen card, what you're doing, and all these cards can be played with balance in some aspects, and you can always pull these energies interchangeably in healthy dynamics. But when we're playing on one card constantly, like the victim card over and over and over again, or we're playing on the damsel in distress card, or the person that is abused over and over and over again card, what's happening in our lives is that it is attracting the dark masculine energies. So when we talk about dark masculine energies, we're talking about predatorism. Most dark masculine features are exhibited or personified in people who commonly would hold a low level of empathy, or may not even have any empathy towards others. In fact, when you take a look at people who have, like males who have been playing people for so long, their souls are also just as fragmented, and their souls are actually more fragmented than any average female player. And that is because they do not take into consideration that the female is leaving the imprint on them. And it goes both ways. So how do we lighten our feminine energies and balance them, and not play the victim card constantly? Because the victim card is going to bring the hero. And that those two roles are both dark masculine and dark feminine roles. What that ends up doing is creating what most would probably call narcissist empath dynamic, or psychopath victim dynamic. And that is why it is very important to understand quantum theory in regard to relationships, because when we can take a look at ourselves, like when we say, why do I keep getting the same person in a different body? There is a reason for that. Your emotional availability and your clinginess and your neediness is creating a monster in whom you are attracting. So lightening your feminine energy and also balancing your feminine energy with masculine energy, light masculine, not dark masculine, is going to be the way out of these types of patterns and roles and situations where we end up with the same archetype after, over and over and over again. My kitty is making my nose itch, but I love it to death. Look at my little Ludi. That's my Ludi girl. She always comes up here and kind of hangs out while I'm talking. I think she's a really weird cat. Like she doesn't like to be around anybody but me. She's a one cat owner. One owner cat. And she's cute though, huh? She's my crazy cat. She's the one that has run away over and over and over again on me. But I love her. So anyway, that's my 2 cents, and I'm not going to make this video super long, but that's my 2 cents on how to break out of patterning in our lives. And I'm still learning about all this, but breaking out of patterning in our lives by implementing certain light masculine characteristics is going to change your life. And it is also going to bring partners that are more balanced themselves. So instead of attracting the really hardcore masculine male who has hero complex, savior complex, holds a lot of ego, holds a really high level of ego, or somebody who's vibrating really low, you're going to want to balance out your own inner energies of masculine and feminine. And that means discarding your dark feminine energy. If you're operating out of dark feminine energy all the time, you're probably going to be consistently meeting narcissists or players or people that won't ever accept you because they see the weakness in you of not accepting yourself. So balance is the key to bringing forth a person who is healthy and has feminine and masculine characteristics in themselves. And I don't mean that in a bad way. When I say a masculine energy needs to hold certain feminine energies as well in order to have a successful relationship, it is because that is the truth. When we can look inside ourselves and say, okay, I need to bring up my masculine energy maybe to 50% so that I can be strong enough to hold my own, yes, but also be strong enough to be able to attract someone who's equally representing both energies, light energies of both genders, if that makes sense. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm going to make this really short and sweet, and like my page and subscribe. Bye.